Hello, I'm Drake. Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to be discussing the draconic ruler of air, Zepher Zeal. So stay tuned. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about something that honestly, how have I not done it sooner, people? I'm sorry, I got behind on some videos. We're going to talk about Zepher Zeal, the draconic ruler of air. And for those of you wondering, this is old Zepher Zeal. This is the artwork that our artist done working with him through evocation. He personally approved on it and all those good things. Turned out absolutely gorgeous. If you are interested, just check out the Working Dragon Mystic merch. You can find this and the other rulers as well on nice, beautiful canvas prints. As you can see, Zepher Zeal is an Asian Ling style dragon, usually yellow gold in tinge with whites, and often a gray or white mane. In this particular image, he chose the gray mane, so there we go. Now, for those who are practicing dragon magic, reaching out to the draconic rulers is one of the first things that is done. Obviously, before you reach out for the draconic rulers, you need to learn the Dragon's Flame ritual, you need to find a guardian dragon, and you need to meet up with your co-magician. You need to do all those things before you first truly reach out and make full connection with the draconic rulers. That said, though, in the Dragon's Flame ritual, you are getting their attention and you are bringing some of that power to you. And you can reach out to them even before that to some small extent. And it will ramp it down, but they'll still be very helpful. Now, the first thing you're going to need is some kind of sigil to reach out and contact them. To this extent, you can always use the Dragon's Eye seal, which is now available in full canvas prints. Again, at the Working Dragon Mystic store, you can pick that up. Another option which people are finding very nice who are interested in dragon magic and they know it's a practice they're going to want is to utilize this. Now, we have it listed as a beach towel on the site because honestly that's what it's printed on. But this is actually a working altar cloth with the Dragon's Eye seal on it, and it will function to contact the rulers just as this one back here will. Or it can be used to enhance and empower your dragon magic practice in general. So that's a great option. And again, that link will be below as well. So obviously, being the ruler of air, elementally speaking, Zepher Zeal works with air. But a good question a lot of people get is, if I reach out to him and work with him, what are areas that he can help me in my life? So a quick rundown of some of these things that Zepher Zeal can help you with in your life is he can help you in matters or magic of business, whether it be advising you or helping you with spell work. Again, he can help you in areas of education, which he's great. Honestly, if I have to study, even if I'm taking a test, I don't care what the kind of test it is, I reach out to Zepher Zeal. The dude is great at helping me retain information that I've studied and or physical skills that I've studied. So even you martial artists out there, if you're studying for a martial arts test that's coming up, maybe you're testing for a belt, reach out to Zepher Zeal. He can really help you out there. And along with that comes that knowledge base. Air is naturally based on knowledge. So if you're seeking answers or knowledge, Zepher Zeal is a great way to go. He can point you in the right direction and or just help you work through it or give you the answers. So when you're seeking any form of knowledge, Zepher Zeal is a wonderful dragon to speak with. Same thing with wisdom. Now this is one place where Zepher Zeal, sometimes people says he's a bit crotchety or even grumpy, because he has a tendency to teach wisdom. Instead of just telling you how something may be, he tries to do it through parables, examples, or even being a smart aleck. So do be aware of that. But yeah, when it comes to seeking wisdom on a subject, maybe a perspective or a point of view you haven't seen, don't know, or how something may affect the larger picture, Zephyr Zeal is really great when you're seeking out that outside wisdom. He can help you in all matters of the mind. So if you're dealing with mental issues, perhaps headaches, nightmares, anything that deals with or originates in the mind, he is totally great at. Now, one area I've used this guy in a lot is contracts. So if you're signing a lease to a house, maybe you're signing for a loan or something, reach out to Zephyr Zeal to make sure you're getting the best deal you can and everything lines up for you. He's really great at helping with those contracts. I do not do a loan or purchase a car or look at something that's a big expense that there's going to be some kind of contract without talking to Zephyr Zeal. Okay? This is my go-to guy when it comes to contracts and deals. Now, 3 areas that is often linked with Zephyr Zeal is wind, weather, and storms. This is one we should probably talk about because it is important. Now, wind, weather, and storms. Most people think controlling the weather. Yes, that's pretty much what that means. But there's a caveat to this. The dragons have no problem manipulating the weather and controlling the weather to help you out in a situation. They understand that. But if you go to controlling the weather willy-nilly and just randomly doing stuff for fun, first off, the dragons aren't going to help you do it. And secondly, the dragons and all the land and nature spirits in the area that's affected by this weather will retaliate in some way because that balance must be maintained. And if you're pushing all the weather to one side, you're going to create a problem. And that problem will have to be remedied somehow. Now, some people have said, well, Drake, I'm not pushing the weather to one side. I'm changing it constantly, so I'm maintaining the balance. Actually, no. The ecosystem actually is affected by those quick changes. So for those of you who think you want to try and make it rain, snow, warm, rain, snow, warm, that drastic change is going to send a shock to the ecosystem. And again, you're going to get that retaliation. So use this ability wisely. Learn it, practice it, test it true. Try to keep it within a small area near your house at best when you're practicing it, so that when you need the skill, it's available. And by all means, when there is actually an issue at hand, say you live in farm country and there's a drought, do what you can to bring that rain in quicker, to end the drought as quickly as possible within the balance. See, humans get on this kick where we think just because we think it's bad, it must just be bad all around. And that's an arrogance and hubris that humans have that goes completely against the balance and natural cycles of nature. So make sure you apply that to the working so that you can get that rain there quicker, as quick as possible, and maintain as much of the balance as possible as well. And if you do this, you're going to get far better results with your weather magic. And believe me, I do a lot to help out my local farmers for the exact same reasons. So I'm not against it. I'm just wanting you to do so wisely so that you don't suffer any backlashes from it. That's all. Now, Zephyr Zeal is often tied to flight and travel. So the first thing people think is, I can fly. I'm going to do Neo. No, you're not going to Neo it. You're not going to be superhero on it. That's not what it means. When we mention flight, we're talking about astral flight. So in this case, trance work and journey work are areas that he can help you with and help teach you and help guide you into bettering your practice within. And he's a great instructor. He really is. Now, travel, obviously that's going to deal with the same thing that flight is often associated with him with, so that astral travel. But he also loves material world travel. So road trips, cruises, going overseas, all these things, he can help you to actually manifest a trip if you're looking to take a trip. And he can see to it that you receive maximum protection and everything goes smoothly, keeps everything balanced. like a well-oiled machine to make that trip and vacation go off without a hitch and be enjoyable, as opposed to the headache that some of us remember family summer vacations being. I don't know about you, but there for a while I wouldn't go on a vacation. I lock myself in the room. I ain't coming out. No, y'all's gonna ruin my vacation. But thanks to Zephyr Zeal, my opinion on vacations has changed, and I have come to absolutely love them now. So yeah, if you're planning a trip or anything, reach out to Zephyr Zeal. He can help you make sure the trip goes off without a hitch, and invite him along. Believe me, he'll enjoy it, and he'll tend to bless you and help you out that much more because he's tagging along. Just a little pro tip there. Now, one thing the air can help with is if something, even if it's another spell from another element, seems to be taking too long, you can reach out to Zephyr Zeal to actually add speed to the manifestation of that other working, which is a wonderful aspect. He also is really good at helping bring clarity to the things that you're working on. So if you're confused, you're not understanding something, or the waters are a little muddied and you're wanting to receive some clarity toward it, whether it be a working, whether it just be life in general, whether it be which path you should take next, Zephyr Zeal is a great person to sit down, talk to, and get that information. Okay, and the last few we're going to cover, which are some of my favorites. First off, communication. He is great at helping you as a communicator. So if you're wanting to be a better communicator, you're shy, you're awkward, Zephyr Zeal can help you with all these things. He can help make you into a better speaker, a better communicator. He can get you past that shy wall. Now that also extends over to public speaking. So perhaps you're maybe in debate club or something similar. Zephyr Zeal can really help you with your public speaking, getting up on stage. In fact, Zephyr Zeal is probably one of the top dogs involved in making it so that my ability to overcome my fear of cameras and attempt to communicate to you all clearly, he's really been the one to help, because until then my videos were more I mean, you know, yeah, it's bad. Believe me, you didn't see those. And even if you go back and watch the first ones, they were still rough. But Zephyr Zeal was able to get me over the fear of cameras enough to get this channel started and to get this information out to you all. So we all owe him a big thanks there. Now, the next two areas really kind of overlap a little, so we'll talk about them at the same time. But that's art, writing, and music. Okay, 3 areas, but they still overlap. And Zephyr Zeal is wonderful in helping artists, writers in all these areas. The creativity, the knowledge, just the expression and the ability to communicate through your artwork or your particular artistic medium, Zephyr Zeal is excellent at. I know many a Dragon Magic practitioner that will not sit down to write without Zephyr Zeal at their side to help them along. The same thing with composing music. And it doesn't have to be wind music. I know a lot of people want to think it has to be wind. It does not. It does not have to be a wind instrument. I know several musicians who have worked with Zephyr Zeal to increase their distribution, increase their ability to play, help them write new songs, new raps. And seriously, I know musicians all the way from bluegrass, country, aspiring rappers, a few rock bands, and at least one alternative person who all works with Zephyr Zeal for their music. So if someone's like, it has to be a wind instrument, no, it don't have to be a wind instrument. It can be anything that you can call music. Vocals, it doesn't matter. And same thing with paintings as well, or drawings. Zephyr Zeal's wonderful at working with in those areas. And I would encourage any artist to reach out and get to know Zephyr Zeal. Great friend to have in the art world. Now, as a dragon of air, Zephyr Zeal does seem to be a bit hyperactive a lot of times. So it can sometimes be hard to keep him on topic if you're just talking to him. But I've noticed that when you're talking to him about matters that specifically fall into his wheelhouse, he really does stay focused and keep that clarity of conversation. So in those matters, you don't have to worry. But in just general conversation, he is random and it can get a lot of fun. So be ready for that. And he is a very active individual. He wants to be on the go. So if something's not going on that's engaging him mentally, he's going to want to be moving, traveling. That aspect comes in. So be ready for that. I actually know one person that in order to overcome this, they actually started getting Zephyr Zeal to go running with them. And they didn't enjoy running, but they knew Zephyr Zeal did. So they would actually run together, and this actually helped them build up a running routine just because they were trying to get past Zephyr Zeal's constantly got to be moving thing. But that's natural. Even when you're sitting talking to him, he's going to be fidgety. I know a lot of videos y'all see me, I kind of twist. I'm fidgety. Well, Zephyr Zeal's a lot more fidgety than me. And that can get distracting to some people, I know. But that's just who he is. He's hyper and he's constantly wanting to move. So for all his logic and wisdom, he is hyper. And in a lot of ways, he kind of has the energy of someone who's impatient or even a puppy. How hyper a puppy or a kitten can be when they're young. That just general hyperactive playfulness. So be ready to experience that when you reach out to him. And yes, when these rulers appear to you the first few times, especially if you don't have a co-magician or a guardian dragon, they're going to turn down the power so that you can handle it, and they're going to size themselves down because these are rulers that are like, I mean, they're the size of mountain ranges and for the smallest of the rulers. So these are massive, massive dragons. They will size down, no worries about that. And they will oftentimes take on a humanoid form. Zephyr Zeal usually appears as a middle-aged to younger gentleman with white hair, sometimes a goatee, sometimes a big old long beard, depending on what mood he's in. But he's always neatly trimmed, well kept. He don't seem to ever have anything out of place, so he seems to keep his appearance on point. Which, again, I guess shows that youthfulness that he wants to project when he does take a human form. There are a few times that he's shown up with no beard, but then the rest of his hair seems to be longer. So he likes to have hair somewhere, it seems. Anyways, I'll make sure all the links for all the things that we showed in this video are below. And I'll make sure the Terrafauna video and the Dragon Magic playlist are linked at the end as well. Also, remember, every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Research and Ramblings of a Mage, where I get on live stream, talk to you all, answer your all's questions, tell you what I got going on in my private practice, how projects are coming along, like the Dragon Magic 102 course, and we just have a good time. Also, if you like the videos that we're producing and you believe in the work we're doing to get information out to all the seekers out there, we do now have a Patreon. So if you'd like to, hop over there. There's a link below. Subscribe to one of the tiers and help the channel out. That way we can keep new content coming and constantly improving upon what we do and get the information out to all the seekers. All the tiers come with their own benefits, early access, discounts to classes, and merchandise, as well as just Patreon only posts and updates that I do over on the Patreon site, and priority messaging for my Patreon members. Anyways, I hope you take the time to reach out and get in touch with Zephyr Zeal, get to know him. Wonderful dragon, wonderful friend to have, and I wish you the best of luck in doing so. I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.